All right. We're not so many today. We're quite few. But nonetheless, we will have a sermon. I've been very nervous until now. Now I'm not very nervous at all. I'm really happy to be here today. And so I thought it would be relevant to speak about happiness and sadness. I think we all go through this in our lives. Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's easy. And so this is the agenda for today, where I'm going to go through what the DP says about happiness, understanding sadness and happiness more from a technical, literal point of view, and then what does Sun Myung Moon say about happiness and sadness? And then I have a small story about this too shall pass. Should I speak more loud? I can speak more loud. I'll raise the volume here a bit. Good. I don't mind speaking a lot more loud. So what does the DP say? I was actually going to have this one come flying in. I was going to ask the crowd here, what does the DP say, and see if anyone remembers the first sentence. And the sentence goes as this: everyone is struggling to attain happiness and avoid misfortune. And so what kind of happiness are we talking about? In the DP, we have two different kinds, where one is more internal, one is more true, one is more long-lasting, and the other one is not. If we look at a more scientific view on happiness, actually recently one of Sundrang's friends is a psychologist. And the psychologist explained to me the uses of emotion and what do they mean, what purpose do they have. And so I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys think happiness is? And what's the purpose of happiness? Very shy crowd here. Joy? Very good. Anything else? Fulfillment? Good. Contentment. These are very good. This is when satisfaction. When this what's it called? Psychiatrist asked me, I wasn't as good as answering this. Because people usually, when they think of happiness, they think of the extreme. When I am I'm losing the words. When I'm very very happy. When I'm overjoyed, literally ecstatic. Good, but this is not necessarily what happiness is, because happiness is the peace inside. And when she said this to me, I imagined walking home from school when I was a teenager. I had no worries in the world. It was autumn. The leaves were falling down, and I just felt. And that's happiness. And that is what we want. We don't want this. I mean, it's nice to be super happy, but I'll explain later on why we don't want to strive for these peaks, these crazy feelings of like, I want to spread it everywhere, you know? So then what is sadness? Oh yeah, by the way, for those people online, I have to repeat what the people in the audience said. They said, what did you say? Can you repeat? Joy, fulfillment, satisfaction. And it's very good answers, because those are all internal, and those kind of are the symptoms of feeling peaceful inside. So very good. So what is sadness? Do we have any ideas? Emptiness. Loneliness. Stress. Good. So we had loneliness, emptiness, stress here. Missing people. Good.
Worry.
Disappointment, worry. Good. I think we stop there. Enough negativity. When people think of sadness, they often think maybe depression, or I'm like so sad that I can't get out of bed. And this is an extreme. But when we talk about sadness, it's about the body, ourselves, forcing ourselves to reflect about a specific situation, and then to potentially make a change. That is the use of sadness. And it's very interesting. I could go on about emotions, about anger, and all this. It's really, really interesting to understand where it comes from and what can we do about it. But so sadness has a function, and we need to remember that. So, what does True Father say about happiness and sadness? And I read a speech from True Father I could not find. Again, I have lost it. But it was such a good speech. And True Father spoke about happiness and sadness. It's not what's there. This is what you find in every True Father speech where you need to live with God. But what he said in this speech is that happiness goes up and down in life. So you're happy and you're sad. And you're happy and you're sad. And it's not really much we can do about that because that is life. And I made the analysis that it's like the water, you know? It's like the ocean. So let's say we have a storm, and it was a big storm, we have big waves, and we're super happy. We're really glad everything is great, and we're in this peak of life where everything is incredible. And then what happens? It comes crashing down. Yeah. Yes. And that is how it is in life. When we don't take care of our happiness, we get to a really high point and we get to a really low point. So why? Is it bad to be that happy? Okay. It's okay, says Anne-Marie. And I agree, and sometimes it's inevitable. Sometimes we're just that happy. But what does True Father say about this? Dangerous. Karin says it's dangerous. I don't want to take it that far, but what does True Father say about this? He says that in the speech that I couldn't find, take my word for it, that we have to take ourselves out of the situation. We have to remove our ego from the situation. Because what happens when we're happy and we think, I'm so important, I deserve to be this happy, and I'm so great, I'm so incredible, I'm important in the situation. So I push myself up, and I come crashing down. And that's usually what we chase for as well. We chase for these feelings of incredible joy surging through us. But we put us in the center, and that's not good. And so when we come crashing down, we're super sad. What about those moments? Doesn't the same rule apply? Things can go wrong, says Karin. Because if we're in a really low point in life, we're really sad, something terrible has happened, then we need to also in those moments remember to remove ourselves from the situation. Because in this moment, do I deserve to be sad? Okay, then I'm going to be more sad. If I'm important in the situation, then the sadness is going to be worse. Are my feelings going to dedicate how I feel? It could, but it's the same rule. So what True Father wants to emphasize is that if we have this water, is that we don't want to go on these highs. Because when we don't, when we're happy, it's going to last much longer. Because the happiness we feel inside is the inner peace that we feel. Remember? And True Father knows his stuff, because also like this psychologist said, the inner peace, that doesn't really go away. Like when I'm finished eating a donut, then that is gone forever. I won't feel that joy again. And the same with sadness. And he says that whatever we do, things will change. It's inevitable. It's the rule of life. And so when I've spoken to friends and they say, I'm down, I'm really sad, and things are terrible for me. I don't know if you've ever spoken to a teenager who just had his or her heart broken. And the world is crumbling down, everything is so terrible, and they can never fall in love again, they think. And things will always be so terrible, they can't see over the hill. And you look at them and you go, well, things will get better. And that's something beautiful. And it's something I take with me whenever I'm feeling down. I know, okay, it's difficult now, but things will pass, because it has to. And this quote I added actually last night, because I thought it shouldn't go unsaid that a life with God helps us get that inner peace. It helps us reach that. And I was speaking to my dad, and he gave me a great example of this. So he spoke about this man who traveled to America on this old ångbåt, like a coal steamboat. Thank you. Steamboat. And this man, he had paid for a ticket, and he had brought food, and it was a long trip, so he has to ration his food, and he was sleeping in the engine room the whole trip. But during the last day, he thought, no, I will give myself one last good meal. I will go to the restaurant and I'll ask, please, maybe if I can eat in the restaurant. And he goes to the restaurant and explains. He says, please, can I eat in the restaurant? And the waiter said, but of course, it's included in the ticket. You can eat here. And then he learns, same goes for, he didn't have to sleep in the engine room. He had a room. He had a bed. And this is life. We go through life, and we have this gift of God who can give us so much joy, who can give us so much peace, who can really help us reach our goals. And we get to the end of it, and we didn't take the opportunity to live with God. Crazy. And we go back and we think, oh man, I should have had those lovely meals. So I wanted to have that said. And so, living with God. Okay, how can we live with God? I'm looking for 2 specific answers. I'm going to ask the audience here.
Be grateful.
Be grateful, good.
Living for the sake of others.
Living for the sake of others. Do we have anything else?
Humble.
Humble. So not the answers I'm looking for. The audience, no good. No, what I'm looking for is
self-realization that we are part of God ourselves. So
self-realization, to understand that we are part of God. Good. I like the understanding part. Because as we speak in the divine principle, we speak as understanding God's word. When we understand God's word, when we understand how we can live by God, we can live with God. We can utilize what we have. And what else? What else do we learn from the divine principle? That we are here for God. So we need to live for God. How can we live for God? Simple. What's the basic? Fulfill the 3 blessings. Very good. That's not what I'm looking for, but very good.
love others.
Love others, very good. I'm talking about prayer. Like, how can we live for God? How can we have a relationship with God if we don't even pray? It's so basic. The understanding and communication with God. And I'm sure there are many other things on how we can live with God and live a fulfilling life. But we need God. We need to talk to God. We need to pray. It's so important. I have a story. It's not in the Bible, but it is King Solomon. And so, King Solomon was trying to humble his wisest servant. So he asked him to perform a seemingly impossible task, to find something that did not exist. He requested a magic ring, one that if a sad man wore it, he would become happy, and if a happy man wore it, he would become sad. Naturally, the servant could not find anything of such nature. So, King Solomon decided upon himself to go to a jeweler and design a ring with the inscription, "This too shall pass." And I want you guys to take this with you. This too shall pass. When we go through hard times, this too shall pass. Because it has to. And with that, I want to say thank you.